In tonight's Political Insider, the State of the Union. On Tuesday, President Obama will deliver his final State of the Union address. The nation's economy is in much better shape than it was when he took office. It created 2.65 million jobs last year. But plenty of challenges remain in Obama's final year, including stagnant wages and rising concerns about terrorism. For more, I'm joined by Kevin Cirilli, political reporter for Bloomberg. Kevin, let's start with the broad view of tomorrow's State of the Union. What do you expect?
Morris, I think that you hit the nail on the head. There are two overarching themes of this speech that we're going to be seeing in President Obama's last State of the Union address in this as he heads into his final year in office. And that, of course, is the struggling economy, as well as, of course, the rising threat of ISIS terrorism. Now, the backdrop to all of this is, of course, the presidential election, which is kick-started into full gear just less than 3 weeks away until the Iowa caucuses. And so what you're going to be seeing before and after the President's State of the Union is a lot of political positioning. Look even for Republicans to try to put Democratic presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton in the position of having to choose between her former boss, President Obama, and the far-left progressive wing of the party.
Mr. Obama is pushing the State of the Union further into cyberspace this year. The address will stream live on YouTube, and the White House will debut a Snapchat account with behind-the-scenes images of the speech. Is there a political calculus here?
Morris, I'm on Snapchat. I don't know if you are, but, I think that it just underscores really the growing importance of social media in politics. I think that the days of the State of the Union address captivating and holding the nation's attention are really over. This is a really routine speech, if you will. And so the White House is going to have to try to get that message out any way they can. While Donald Trump, the celebrity billionaire, has had no problem getting free press, it looks like maybe President Obama could get a couple of tips from Mr. Trump to try to get some more energy for his speeches.
Trump certainly has reinvented Twitter. We know that. All right, let's talk about guests, Kevin.
Yeah.
First Lady Michelle Obama will be joined by Rafai Hamo, a Syrian scientist stricken with cancer. Tell us more.
Well, this is really, I think, again, part of the pomp and circumstance, if you will, that surrounds the State of the Union address. And so, of course, we all are familiar with the debate being had right now in our country about the Syrian refugee crisis. Now, some conservatives have argued that they would like to see administration officials as well as government officials bolster security protocol so that we can see exactly who is coming into our country before allowing in the Syrian refugees. Democrats, on the other hand, have said, hey, wait a minute, we need to be taking them in. They don't think that there is a severe terror threat. So clearly, Michelle Obama's guest is certainly a sign for where the administration stands. It's also worth noting that some top high-ranking Democratic House members are also going to be accompanied by Muslim guests, again, further adding to that feel of the Syrian refugee crisis, as well as Mr. Trump, who has proposed temporarily banning all Muslims from entering into the U.S. until we bolster our security.
Kevin, there's been a lot of speculation about how political Obama will get during Tuesday's speech. How will the presidential primary factor in?
Well, I'm a skeptic in this regard, and I think that everything is political through the lens of Washington, and I think most Americans can see through that as well. But, whether or not he's going to raise the issue, if you will, of gun control, we all remember just a few days ago where he had a very emotional speech trying to unveil his new executive orders on gun control. Whether we see that type of emotion or whether there is a larger viral moment from this speech remains to be seen. But again, on the issue of terrorism, Republicans have been hammering away at this. They are really looking for him to lay out a concrete, measured plan for how to combat ISIS, radical Islamic terrorists. They criticize President Obama for not even using that term.
Right. All right, you've been on the campaign trail for the past few weeks. What are people talking about outside the Beltway?
The economy and national security.
Right.
Everywhere I go, Morris, there is a real frustration on both sides of the aisle in Democrats and Republicans about the impish pace of the economic recovery. And quite frankly, I have to be candid here, I think that's why we're seeing people like Mr. Trump and Senator Bernie Sanders, a self-described socialist from Vermont, being able to capitalize on that populist frustration. And so I really think that this election is going to be decided by who voters believe can not only keep us safe, but can also jumpstart this economy heading into the new term.
You know, for a long time, Mr. Obama could blame President Bush and call it the Bush recession. There's been enough time passed to where it's almost become the Obama recession. 2% growth, 3% growth every year at best is not what people are looking for. I mean, check out your 401k this week. Sure, we can blame problems in China for affecting the stock market, but the economy just isn't growing fast enough, and that's what you're hearing too?
That's what I'm hearing. I think whether you're a baby boomer trying to retire or a millennial trying to jumpstart your career or a mid-career 30-something, 40-something trying to get a home loan, there's that frustration. You mentioned China. You look at the stock market, Morris, on Wall Street here at home, and that significantly took a dive a couple of days ago as a result of those global economic concerns. And so really what I think, what I think you're going to be hearing as we go forward is Senator Sanders raising concerns about international trade deals. And again, Mr. Trump, if you look at all the polls, we haven't really had the economy be a contentious point yet of this campaign. We've been focused on immigration and national security. But the second it's about the economy, Trump's advisors, Trump's staffers, they feel that's his most winning issue.
And I'm telling you, just before any election, it always boils down to it's the economy, stupid, right?
Yep.
All right,
Absolutely.
Kevin Cirilli, political reporter for Bloomberg. Of course, not calling you stupid, but that's just the phrase they use, Kevin.
I know. Thanks,
right.
Morris.
Good luck. We'll see you next time, Kevin. Thanks.